Mac McAllister, Retro Jazz and Blues. Yeah.
Feeling a little bit better right now, man. You know, it's, what can I say? Are we starting today? Yes, we are. This is a start, but we do our official start.
This is a start.
This is a start, right? It's called Get It On, and Get It On.
It's called Exercise with the Old Dude. Come on, everybody. It's time to flap your wings. You know what I say? It's time for morning coffee. Get up and get lifted. Get your stretch on. Get your mood on. Hey, we know you need some stroking this morning. Yeah, it's been a stressful weekend for a lot of folks. Trayvon Martin trial. So, Vic, it's all about healing this morning.
Yes.
And we're going to try to give everybody a hug.
Yeah, you know what? I'm reaching out right now. Prayers and blessings for the family, Mario. Look, it's hard to celebrate what we're doing here without thinking about what happened the day after, but it's the day after, and we're going to make it work for us because we have to move forward no matter what the cause. We've got to move forward, man. So for me, I'm going to say this. I'm going to keep thinking about the families affected. At the same time, tell you, welcome to Morning Coffee. Morning Coffee is here, dropping it. It's a little warm today, Mario. I want to talk about sports, but it seems like sports got nothing but steroids, controversy, statements, tweets, twits, and a lot of other controversial statements because of the weekend. You got something better for me?
Well, I don't know if it's better. It may be different.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I'll just say this. I got some hot picks for you because one thing I do know that brings everybody to a pause is a wonderful woman. That's a cause. Mario, can you get with that one?
Yeah, I don't know if I have anything better than that. So, and on the sports thing.
Oh, man, I'm going to say this right now. All I can say is, Roddy White, I don't know. All I can say is steroids ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, man. I just did my official switch to the WNBA. So this is why I'm watching them, you know.
Hey, no, you know
Candace
what?
Parker.
I'm sorry, man. Look, the way it's going right now between, I hate to say this, they're talking about football, but not for the right reasons. They're talking about basketball, but not for the right reasons. It's the Zimmerman trial. So all the athletes are weighing in, and I'm not mad at them. Some are going a little bit deep. Some are getting carried away. Yeah. Some, rightfully so, are passionate. And passion can sometimes work its way through the Twitter sphere. You have to hold on and say, whoa, horse, whoa. Mario, how do you feel about that Zimmerman trial, man?
Well, we're gonna get into that. And that is also part of the healing. Not a lot of time focused on trying to relive all the different aspects, but you gotta weigh in. It's the topic of the day. So everybody get ready. Take a deep breath, but I do have some healing in store.
Yes.
And we're going to try to stroke you and give you a video audio hug.
Yes.
As part of the morning enterprise, okay?
Yeah.
I promise you, I've been thinking about you.
I'm telling you guys, you know what? I'm going to wave my arms because it's that time right now is...
Let's just do what we came to do.
Oh, I tried to... Just didn't work.
Come on. Yo, be cool.
You know, I tried to wave my arms and I got what they call the dinosaur T-Rex arms. They got stuck on the side. What's up, family? Hey, Mac, Port Townsend, Washington, PMC Pittsburgh. You know, it's difficult. You know, I actually was working out the other day. Didn't realize, you know, I kept a constant barrage of helicopters. And I was going, man, what's up? I mean, hours on hours. So I do my run. I forgot that Lamert Park was having, you know, that rally because of the Trayvon.
Well, you know what? I didn't realize either, but we're on the news this morning. Yeah. We're on the news. Los Angeles was on the news because of civil unrest.
Yeah.
And we're right in the thick of it for the most part. And, wow, kind of to be expected. But that's why we have to talk about these things today. We're going to talk about them. And what I in approaching this, Vic, I really put some time into thinking about, excuse me, the ways to approach it. Because that's the issue. There's a bunch of take-home lessons. Some may or may not be relevant to everyone in every situation. In other words, this is a thing that doesn't mean the same things to everyone. Okay, and that's part of it, and that's part of the whole. But it tends to be very passionate because it incites within a whole bunch of people their own experiences.
Right. Yes.
And therein lies. So we got to talk about that today, and we will be doing some talking about that today because it is the hot and trending tweet. George Zimmerman trial, the Egypt uprising. Edward Snowden and taking up the real Sanaa Lathan and Denzel. It's Monday, July 15th, 2013. Weekly quotations. Every week we have weekly quotations, and this week is no different. And so I thought I picked these to try to be appropriate for the days. The first one is by Thomas Stephen Zaz. I hope I pronounced it right. And I quote, "The stupid neither forgive nor forget. The naive forgive and forget. The wise forgive, but do not forget."
That's tight. That's tight. Especially when you put stupid in there.
I'll say that again. The stupid neither forgive nor forget. The naive forgive and forget. The wise forgive, but do not forget.
Yeah.
And the second quote is by none other than Mahatma Gandhi. And the quote is, "The weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong."
Yeah. It sure is.
And that is the truth. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong and the spiritually motivated.
It takes a lot.
Takes a lot. It takes a lot. And again, that's what we're going to deal with some today in terms of what we're going to do, because in approaching these kinds of things, you want to set certain tones, and we want to set a certain kind of a tone in dealing with these issues today. PMC sent over an email. I got to get that to pull up too,
right?
As part of his communication on this. He wanted to speak out on this too. I want to acknowledge and say welcome to all our family in the chat room.
Yes.
You know, Mac McAllister, Gene, and Beatrice, you know, having some technical issues. Everybody may have noticed, for everybody out there, there's a flurry of upgrades.
Big time.
We have like 12 systems here. And so I know because I have to deal with all of them.
They're attacking like women think Mario's Don Juan. That's how.
Yeah, right. He's tagged, yeah.
Look, you guys, I'm just saying this. When they're coming in a flurry like this, you know, just be prepared that if you do go search for the downloads. Here's the thing that I always tell people. When you know there's downloads and it hasn't hit your system, I know my system, it takes like 2 or 3 days after the main system. I go search for them because I know it's coming. It's coming with a wrath. Search for them, and you'll be shocked. They're waiting for you. So to me, we were dealing with it, and it's not that bad, but that last round.
Well, the good news is that we use proprietary equipment. By that I mean, most of you will be surprised. We have a lot of computers, but most of them are old. I'm pretty good at keeping the old stuff working long past what it's. But people go, "Damn, you still got?" I say, "Yes, I do."
Yes,
yes, believe it or not, believe it or not. You know, so we do have a bunch of old computers, but we have a bunch of them in service because they all do specific tasks. You sort of leave them, like, for example, running the internet radio.
Yeah, big time.
That works on an old, duddy computer, but it'll be the only thing you have running on it.
Right, and you got to remember, you know what I forget
about?
It
does its updates.
Yes, the automatic updates. When you have an older computer, doesn't come back to its normalcy. It sits there and wait for you. You gonna press the button?
Well, the other right, and you don't. And plus, on the older ones, you don't necessarily want to do the updates.
Yeah,
you know, it might not be the best thing to do. All right. So anyway, so today's topic is pretty much for me. It's going to be the Trayvon Martin thing, Vic. That's what I was going to do. If you are covering some of that in sports, do you want to include your stuff toward that in that segment, or whatever way you want to handle it?
No, you go ahead. See, there's always a framing, and there's always a different approach. You know, you can hit topics the same. Nobody can avoid sports this weekend. I mean, it's a shame that we're talking about the All-Star game, the baseball game, and it has a topic that's tied into this. I just didn't bring it up. I always leave something there and put it in my backpack. So
well, baseball's the topic, and you know the New Yorkers.
Yeah, well, you know they're biding their time.
They're feeling the pinch.
I mean, excuse me. Does anybody out there feel sorry for the New York Yankees or the Los Angeles Lakers? They have the most championships outside
and
of
nor
Boston.
should you.
No. So the Yankees, come on now. Now Jeter, we'll talk about you later, bro. But you know what? You're a bastion of faith. But you know what? Ankles get old, and you know what? I'm gonna say this. You can't lumber down to first base. You lumber to home.
Lumber. You don't want to be lumbering. Lumbering It's only if you're trying to cut wood.
Yeah.
If you're not doing that, then. Oh, by the way, before we get into the other session, remember, everybody, our interactive chat room is such a part of this show, and we did get some mail. I want to make sure. PMC, do you want me to read that email?
Oh, I think he wants you to read the email.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Sometimes they don't say it, and then sooner or later I'm going to mess that up.
No.
Because I don't know sometimes when you guys...
The rule is...
Sometimes it's obvious it's not stuff I want to... But most times I don't know.
The rule is you send it in an email, subject.
Well, you know, I'm trying... These are my people.
No.
Well, if he wrote in some crazy shit, I probably would paraphrase it anyway.
I would do it all day long.
I would probably just do it without asking. What? Right. No, you don't want to say that.
Thank you. It's all fair and good. Plus, I'm sorry. You know, he has a soulmate, and we're still trying to work on getting people I mean, come on, man. He got somebody he can sit back and tuck him in at night, make him dinner, wake him up. Here we are, man. The best thing we can get is Neighborhood Watch.
Well... Here we go. The Zimmerman verdict, you guys, is in. Not guilty. 6-person jury, 6 women, 1 woman may be black.
After seeing
this is the way they're reporting it, you guys. They say, and the 6th juror is either black or Hispanic. That's the way. It's not Mario, okay? This is the way. So to me, like Mac was saying, Mac, G, and Bureau Chief in the chat room say, don't let this incite you to violence. And nor do I think it should invite you. I think, first of all, there's a lot of levels of this. You know, there are a lot of levels of this issue. There's the level that's Zimmerman himself. And see, to me, I end up separating them because I think it's easier to deal with them separating them. What do I mean? I try to separate out Zimmerman from the handling of the case, okay, by the individuals involved in handling it, and then again from separating that out from the views of the public, because a lot of your reaction to this has to do with your own experiences with the police. Now, people have to understand, that's got to be understood because that is part and parcel of everything. Every black man I know my age, and people say, Mario, that's insightful. No, but this is the truth. Every black man I know my age has a bad police experience. Every single one. Almost every black man I know had a bad police experience before we were out of high school.
Right. Yeah.
People say that's too much. I said no. I would say almost all. So for white folks, that's a shock and they have it hard to believe. So these kind of things are going to incite in the black community a specific kind of hostility. Because you have a lot of people alive today who have had very, very, very negative police experiences. And based on the statistics that we're seeing about Los Angeles, remember, that had everything to do with the Christopher
Dorner
reaction.
Right.
Because everybody relives their own police experiences.
Right.
So in order to view these kind of things and dissect it, Vic, I have to separate it out. Because I think Zimmerman is different than, to me, I have more of an indictment, to tell you the truth, on the system.
Yeah, I do too. I
actually have about him.
Look,
I thought he was a nut. I just said he's a nut.
Right. Yeah. Look, I told somebody, I said, look, there's no way I'm gonna speak from Los Angeles, where I'm at, in a state that doesn't allow you to carry weapons. Okay, that's number one. I said already, you don't realize that part you can't even deal with.
See, Florida is a different animal.
Right.
See, I said some parts of the United States you have to understand. That's why I don't travel there that much.
That's right.
They are different animals.
Right.
Okay, Texas too.
Right. And look,
these are people where if you want to be a gun nut who hates black folks, you move there. Let's just say that. Because you'll find a hole.
No.
You could be Ted Nugent.
Not all.
Ted Nugent. But you could be a Ted Nugent
right.
who talks about taking his gun to South Central, and we say you talk really proud and strong from there, Ted.
Oh, right.
But that's the kind of stuff he says.
Right. No, look.
Those are blatantly, these are the kind of insightful things, and this is America. What I think is great, Vic, is to see it exposed. Go on.
I agree. No, what I'm saying is, and when I say it is America, and to see it exposed, I had to take a step back and said, there can be tons of information and data, but it's what you can prove. And,
right.
and it's at the competency of the prosecution and or the defense. So no matter how much you know about the story emotionally, first thing I thought about is there's nothing I can say to comfort the parents of a lost child. That I can't say anything. But when I get into that part where they say, and I asked somebody this, and I know people are not going to agree with me on this. I said, you know what? I pictured one day, and I've been in this position, nothing like Trayvon. I told somebody, imagine you have a son or a daughter. They have a phone. Somebody's following them. The first thing I would want my son or daughter is to go find a place or call a police, call something someone that will back them up. I had to say that, not to take away what happened to Trayvon, a travesty, but still, I do not want my son or daughter trying to contest somebody who they believe may be following them. I asked that question. I don't have the right answer on this one. I just said, from my position of a parent, I said, I just hope that never happens.
Bad judgment. That's what I said. There's a lot of things. Now, and even though to me, okay, we're going to try to break this down. It still comes down to the fact that when you take justice into your own hands, you have to be correct. Let's leave race out of it for a minute. Anyone who responds to what they perceive to be a crime, especially where there's no crime, just say they say a suspicious person.
Right.
Anyone who responds to a suspicious person with a gun, then ends up killing them. If it is proven later that they were not a suspicious person or were not a criminal.
Wow.
Because even if they're a criminal, I think there's some issues.
Right.
Tell you the truth. But when they're not, leave race out of it.
Right.
Then you have to go to jail.
And
you have to. Now, here's the thing, Vic.
Yeah.
The incompetence may be to a degree to the prosecutors because they didn't charge him.
Right.
With the lesser thing. In other words, a jury can only vote. A jury can only vote
on the
conditions that they're given.
Right.
That's what they're given. If you give them, it's like you all think elections you get to choose. You get one or two choices.
Right.
And that's your choice. So if they don't give them that choice, so you have that there. Because to me, if you leave race out of it, which is to me in discussing it intellectually, I think you have to try very hard to do. But let's just leave just for a moment. We're going to come back to the race. We are going to do race, but let's leave that out for now. Anybody who responds to a perceived intruder, perceived person out of place with a gun, you already are stepping beyond the boundaries.
Right. Let me ask you, watch this. Mar, you're right. Let me tell you something. I told you this before, and I said this. I said, I remember when we all had our little road rage moments back in the day.
Yes.
You're driving.
Right.
Somebody cuts you off. All of a sudden, you pissed off. You can't wait to curse them out. You Billy Badass, right?
Right.
You never think that person has a weapon in their car, right?
No.
So I'm rushing
nowadays
to confront.
You might.
So my whole point is
nowadays you better.
You better. My whole thing was I kept asking this question to somebody. I said, I kind of know when you're younger, and I'm not blaming anyone. I said
because he didn't have to respond violently to him either, but he was insulted.
I'm just saying. I understand it.
So he didn't have to get nasty with him, but most of us would based on our experience.
Right.
Say at least, F you.
Right.
So now
you don't want that to happen.
No. So I think you have a kind of a nutty man.
Can't wait.
See, so to me now, what I think is when the racism comes out is where the system dealt with it.
It's Florida now.
Anytime you could flip it, if that was a black man and a white boy,
all the conditions
the black
change.
man would be in jail. You know damn well. See, this is the part everybody knows damn well. For sure, no question.
Right.
The black man would be in jail. I don't care if he was how upstanding he was. He could have been a judge in the community.
Unless he was OJ.
Yeah, right. So that's the part where the racism comes in. The fact that there's 6 women on the jury.
Right.
And no black folks. Or a maybe black person, because the media still can't document whether they're black or not.
Well, the skin
could
color
be black
does not have anything
because
to
they
do
don't
with
remember race. And defining race is another controversy. Believe me, so that I can deal with that. So they don't know what to call some of us. They have, I have people that say, "Well, all those folks are black. Aren't all Puerto Ricans black?"
Right.
Some white folks think that. No, I don't think so. I mean, I don't know.
Right.
See,
I know. See, the part
it's a sociological, it's a cultural definition, not it's not a anthropological or whatever.
No, I agree.
It's a social. But anyway, so let's deal with the racism has to do with the system. The fact that you have once again, No blacks represented in the trial. So even doing that, you automatically move it to the realm of being suspect. You know that. By doing that. Just by doing that. That automatically means it's going to be suspect. Period.
Well, and the other part is most people have to know where to start, where the law is in the favor of somebody who's holding the gun, such as the state of Florida.
Right, except here. I tell you what, you cannot do that. Like I said, anywhere else. Remember, Florida and Texas are unique. And remember, they don't go out, they tell you that, okay? Don't go ask them. If you don't believe me, go ask them. They will tell you. They're proud of this.
I mean, in other words,
it's not a secret.
Think about it.
Okay, let me tell you. I came up with this.
Let me say this. If you don't think the court case is political, it is, because it also is a bigger statement for those who are saying we have a gun law here in Florida. So eliminate the part that he was carrying a gun. That part can't be considered.
There's some. I was trying to verify this, but someone had told me that in the whole history of the United States, there's like 2 white men who have ever been executed for killing a black man, and one of them killed somebody because he killed a slave. It was that old. Okay, so suppose I don't know. We can verify this, but supposedly in the whole history of the United States, we do not execute white men for killing black men. Almost never.
Right. I understand.
Almost never happened.
Well, see, in part, let me say this.
We're trying to research that.
Well, let me just say this. Never will I question, the scenario. I've been in situations where I was in a phone booth and people drove up and got out of this car, 7 or 8 deep, and rushed over towards the phone booth I was in. Now, my first inclination is, where's the other door in the phone booth so I can run? Not to run towards them. Now, it's totally different. I've had a situation also back in the day where a friend played a trick by following us and following me and a couple of friends. First thing we was thinking about is, get away.
Right.
Get away. And I know that this thing where you sit there and say, see, I'm not getting into what happened as far as Trayvon. For the most part, everybody's saying it was poor prosecution. A lot of people are saying that. And then, of course, the weight of the state law that allows him a lot of flexibility to be the neighborhood watch person, along with others. The prosecution, they're jumping all over them. They're already saying average.
Incompetence.
Average.
They say incompetence. Oh, this ain't this. But then again, maybe they know Florida. They go like, see, no one wants to go, in Florida, we don't.
Wait a minute.
See, no one wants to say, in Florida, we don't send white folks to jail for stuff like this. We just don't. This is Florida. That's why you live here, because you can get away with this kind of bullshit.
You should hear the experts, attorneys.
This is Florida.
They're actually saying, it just shows you how it is. And they're not from Florida. There's a lot of experts saying
what's the state
with the evidence at hand, which is really not direct evidence, because everybody's he say what's been told. They say this shouldn't have even came up to the level like what you said, Mario.
They wouldn't even have taken the trial.
Right. They wouldn't have taken the trial.
Remember, this wouldn't even have went to trial without publicity. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's what I'm indicting.
Right.
That's what I'm indicting. See, here's the thing about Zimmerman. I don't really think, to tell you the truth, and now some people are going to get on me about this, I don't see him as a hateful person. I see him as a nut.
Well, yeah.
I see him as an unbalanced person. I don't see him as a person that's trying to be
right.
But I know people like this. They still make bad judgments. He made a bad judgment to take a gun with him.
I think the part two, Mario, I agree with you 1,000%.
But I don't really think, I'm sorry, I don't really find him to be a hateful person. So you can't, to me, that wasn't going to sell if you were trying to sell that.
I agree. No question.
Because he's too mild-mannered in demeanor for the average person to imagine him being...
Unless he has internal anger management.
But that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Remember, I said, to me, he's an obvious nut. Right. I said, this guy, flat affect, should be on meds.
Right.
If he doesn't have a psych, I'd be so surprised if he doesn't have... They can't tell you in the trials.
True.
A lot of time. But I bet you he has a psych history. I bet you. He has a flat affect... He has paranoid. I bet he has some psych, and that's my issue with Zimmerman. So I don't feel all this hate Zimmerman that a lot of people feel.
No,
I don't feel any of that. I think he's a sick man who made a terrible choice. But what I indict is the system that says it's okay. Vic, can I read a couple things from the chat room?
Yeah.
PMC's basically saying they did try to get manslaughter, but could not even get that. That's what they said. Supposedly, like I said, Vic told you, it would not have even have gone this far without the political input, because this is not the way it's done down there.
That's right.
Remember, I cited a time where the black kid jumped through the window of the school and stole some ice cream sandwiches, and they gave him 5 years in prison.
Yeah, wow. I forgot about that. Wow.
Remember that? And then the judge says, well, that's how we do it down here.
Right. Know where
remember
you roll.
Remember how they feel. Go ask them. Right. It won't be, I guarantee you it won't be a secret.
Right. Right. Know where you
roll.
You
will go down there, they will tell you to your face.
Know how you roll.
This is how we do it. You got a problem with that? Right. Don't come down here.
Right. In other words,
that's the way they feel.
They say, if it's like somebody
I don't
saying,
go down there.
Mario, think about this. When some people travel to Turkey and Greece.
Right.
Or whatever, and they said, now it's different if you get caught with something here. Say it's drugs.
Right.
Go to there. I said, do not transfer what your rights are here over there. And remember, phone call away is not the same as a phone call away here. You got to know where you roll. And let me say the other part that I agree with you on this, with Zimmerman being ill or sick. The one thing they said is he wasn't poor. He wasn't in a position where he had nowhere else to live. He actually was doing okay. So it's shocking that he would like to live in an area where the embodiment of it had a lot of crime. The first thing I would think is I would want to move out rather than walk the streets. That tells you the mindset of somebody who's capable.
He's not being logical.
Saying I do not want to contribute.
He just looks sick.
I know.
And those of us who work with sick people, when you listening to him talk, you go, wait, he's not right. That's all you going. Everybody knows Zimmerman is not right.
Right. And look,
everybody knows that.
But I know what he'll trade off.
And they're not going to deal with it like that, but he's not.
I know.
Okay, now let me read another quote.
Okay.
PMC said, Chris Rock said that the irony is that now Zimmerman will never be able to go outside without a hoodie.
That's wrong. That's cold. Why'd you go there, man? Why'd you go there? Why'd you do that?
The judge, anyway. So here's the thing. Sad because it once again indicts the system, which we know has no value for black life.
Right.
I'm sorry. Right. White folks don't want to hear that. That's the truth. And most white folks know this is the truth.
Well, no, they're speaking on it on TV.
Because they go like this shot. They hate to be reminded because they thought I have white friends that'll be more upset about this than I would be.
Because some of them, fortunately, are not the harbingers of
No, they're
hate.
not. They're not. That's why you can't go out. The one challenge I say for all black folks, and I've been saying this since I was 14, the challenge is who to be mad at. You don't need to be mad at all white folks. Right. All white folks ain't your enemies, and damn sure all black folks ain't your friends.
Right. Like I say, at the end of the day, I told somebody something, and I know, like I said, I'm not here to get a popularity contest. I'm not a political pundit, and I'm not an activist. I'm just me who's just dealing with the information everybody else has. I told somebody, I said, I understand what's happening here, but let me tell you what I still think is where you pick and choose your battles. There's still more black on black crime, and I don't see us getting up in arms about that. We wait for somebody else on the other side to hit that flashpoint, and I still walk out here and say there's still 1,000% markup of black on black crime,
and if
we're casual with it.
And if you're ignoring black on black crime by quote unquote not being a, whatever the term is they call it. If you're ignoring black on black crime, think where you fit in this. Right. Imagine right now if you one of those brothers sisters out there talking about, you won't report nothing.
Doesn't excuse.
So you just gonna let serial killers stalk our community forever?
Right. I'm not. Thank you.
So are you better than George Zimmerman? I don't know. See, this is where it gets crazy.
Chicago has
this is where it gets crazy.
A high homicide rate up in Chicago. They've been talking about it in the last few months. I'm only saying. I'm not excusing what happened. Not at all. But I'm just saying, when you want to rally up the way everybody's rallying up, why don't we rally up for your own people who are saying, you know what, the number's here. This is once now and then. I hate to say it. Maybe it happens maybe a little bit more. But every day we're dealing with something else that we need to deal with. We need to get up in arms about that. And let me say the other part that Zimmerman, I think he would regret. He has regrets. I think he would have never done this if he knew that the rest of his life will never be the same. Ever.
No,
he is done.
But he's also sick.
Yes.
Like I said, he has all the overt signs to me of someone with true psychiatric disease.
Right.
And those of us who worked it, like PMC says he worked right too. I said, yeah, look closely at him. He talks, he has the flat affect, all of that.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if he has a psych history.
Right. I'm saying this.
Probably a long-standing one.
Right. Think about it. Isn't it this? Okay. I'm not going to harp on it. I'm just going to say George never saw the long term, and right now, witness protection, maybe Tahiti, somewhere like that, because it's done.
He got to buy it on. They're going to do a civil suit now and try to get all his money.
Yeah, I know.
They're going to try to bankrupt his family.
Yeah, I know. It's, what can I say? It's that way.
I guess that makes it better. I don't know, because to me, I would feel very sad if ultimately, if I go back and find out about his psych history, if it turns out that he didn't get the psychiatric care that he should have because of the incompetence of our medical system. Sometimes, you guys, there's layers of complexities of these things in the lessons of life that blow your mind.
And you can't.
That blow your mind.
And you have to.
That's all I can say.
And you know what? Be careful of believing the hype. He believed the hype. He got hyped up, and he wanted to challenge somebody. He was looking for that. And to me, when you go out and seek that, I think no matter what your intentions are, you can't prepare for the unexpected. The unexpected is that he went to a place where, in the initial, had nothing to do with a young man walking to the store just to go purchase something. I mean, you think about it, his mindset
and like you
was already
said,
there.
Vic, had he been taught or had he been practicing non-confrontational,
right? That's it.
Because I am often so aware of problems I've made for myself.
It's called neighborhood watch.
With my big mouth, right?
Not pursue. Neighborhood watch, not pursue.
I mean, either one of them. Both of them made. Look at all the mistakes that could have been changed at any time.
Right.
He could have not taken a gun.
Right.
Trayvon could have turned around and laughed at him.
Right.
And said, he, I live right there.
Right.
That's simple.
That's simple. Right.
See, all of those, but why should they? I know I'm not casting blame. I'm just looking at when you try to think in any way at every one of these intersections of fate.
Right.
Something could have happened to change it.
Well,
or maybe he could have got the psychiatric care he needed so that he was on meds.
What is the first thing your parents are going to do right now?
I don't know, but I sure wonder.
Well, I bet you any money they're saying this. If you find yourself down the street, somebody's following you, run.
Yeah, run, come home, get your ass home.
Run.
Get your ass home. Don't stand and confront.
Right.
Why stand and confront? Years ago, we are a confrontational group. I understand. I'm not saying I would have probably stood and confronted. But that's what I'm saying. I would have been wrong in that sense, too. Multiple factors, right?
Yep.
Fate, right place, wrong time, all of that mess.
Yep. And at the end of the day, I still say a prayer for the Martin family, no matter what.
Me too.
And I hope moving forward that people will now understand. And here's the thing: they said it takes something like this to now put things in perspective. Now people are all going to be aware of. You think something suspicious is happening around you? Find people, find shelter.
Don't go get a gun and investigate.
Wait, don't do it.
I told my woman when I showed her where the gun was. The gun is for when somebody breaks in the house. You call the police, lock the door.
That's right.
And get the gun out.
There you go.
And then you sit across from the door.
Right.
Now, if they kick in the door, kill that son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Shoot to kill.
Right. But don't pursue them.
Don't go pursuing shit.
Right.
Lock the door and call the police. But while you waiting for the police, get out that that Magnum that I have over there and put it in your lap.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
And then if they kick that door down,
you'll be in your rights.
Cancel their check.
It's done.
Right
it's done.
there.
Right. If they cross the line, the Continental Divide.
Once you do that, I would yell to you, I got a gun.
Right.
Get out.
Right.
Now, if you're going to come at me.
Right.
Oh, no.
Right. I know.
They're going to find you.
But see, and I, listen.
That's all I'm saying. Wrong house.
Don't want to be passive,
Wrong house.
but also want to be smart.
I'm saying, that's right. But we ain't pursuing shit.
No.
But we will warn you because you're going to hear the shotgun click, okay? Right. You're going to hear that.
Don't pursue.
I'm going to say, get out of the house. Get out. And you're going to hear the shotgun click.
Don't.
We're on the phone waiting for LAPD, but if you happen to charge, you will be missing a limb.
Right. It's already.
All right. I'm just letting you know.
Remember.
I was being kind and trying just to hit the limb. But if you shoot somebody in the knee with a shotgun, good chance.
Okay.
You have an amputation.
Florida real estate right now.
Very good chance.
There's a depreciation in the market right now.
I'm just saying.
Florida real estate.
Now we need a moment of healing.
Right.
And so for a moment of healing, because I realized we all get angry because we start to relive our experiences, of which all the black men have them.
Yeah.
I found a book that I so often read by Ntozake Shange, a book entitled For Colored Girls Who Have Considered Suicide When the Rainbow Is Enough. And so I'm going to read a brief passage here. I was missing something so important, something promised, a laying on of hands. Fingers near my forehead, strong, cool, moving, making me whole. Sense pure, all the gods coming into me, laying me open to myself. I was missing something promised, something free, a laying on of hands. I know about laying on bodies, about laying on a woman, bringing her all of my fleshy self and some of my pleasure, being taken full ego wet like I sometimes get. I was missing something, a laying on of hands. Not a woman to be laying on. Not my mama holding me tight, saying I'm always going to be her boy. Not a laying on of bosom and womb, a laying on of hands. The holiness of myself released.
Bam.
Just a moment for Trayvon. I think I got the right thing. I was trying to find the right video to transition with.
Oh, hey, look, the message is done already. You know, like I said, it's hopefully the stifling of hate will simmer down, because I know there's a lot of people out there emotionally enraged, and you just got to direct it, because you can't sustain hate forever. You can't, and it tears and wears you down.
It will destroy you.
It'll break you down mentally and physically. So you have to be very careful about the direction of your energies, and you have to understand that we're all flawed. As Mac has said, many of us know this. We just can't point over here and say, correct the system because we are the chosen one. There's no chosen one. There's only prayer, belief in the higher power, and then hopefully, slow down your emotions. When it's at a boiling point, just kind of breathe, back up a little bit. Don't go out there and start crushing with opinions. And that's where everybody gets enraged. They want to be heard. They believe they're in tune with the right thing. I said the best thing to do is just, let God speak to you. He'll calm you down.
Because again, it's the reliving of our own past experiences.
Yeah, it is.
And we all have them. But we have to remember, it's human nature to do that, but it's not part of this.
No. I mean, you think about it. I mean, I think about my youth and how I was an engine of fire. And it had nothing to do, I show you this, Mark, had nothing to do with really prejudice or race. You know what? I'm just a young man who's just got a lot of testosterone.
Yeah, everybody
and
wants,
I wanted to go out and do it. It's just innately, it's in a nature of a young man.
They want to fight.
They want to be badass.
Yeah, they want to just.
We don't want to be known as softies. We could check you. We're infallible, right? And look, appropriate song, appropriate music.
Well, we got to come back with the new sports. We also have the hot picks. We have some videos to show you that the LZ just did, but I didn't know if that was the right transition video. So I said, I tell you what, I'll play one more. I got something I think will help for the transition, and we'll come back and get into some sports.
There's a song.
Yeah. I told you we was going to try to caress you. Because, and again, let me go to the chat room. I think that was the thing. We all were angry. And you was messing with my head, too. I was getting, stomach upset. And I said, wait. It's not supposed to be all this. It's really not supposed to be all this. And sometimes we have to stop and gather ourselves. And that's what it was just this morning.
Yep.
I didn't have this thought out last night. It was just this morning.
Right.
When it occurred to me, I said, I have to approach it as a moment of healing.
Oh yeah, you do. You have to take you know what it makes you think of the great men or the great leaders. That's women and men both. You think about Gandhi, you think about Dr. King, you think about people who are able to pass along a word to say, hey, look, don't, let's look at the bigger picture. And they're better presenters and ones who can actually explain how we have to go beyond the minutia. And this is not minute, but you have to think of the bigger picture. And in it, if you think hate is going to lead the way to success, you're on the wrong boat and rowing the wrong way. And I didn't get upset. I looked at the legality, the prosecution. I looked at that and I said, I don't feel strong about this. We were talking about it with a few people, and I said, do you see a death without a reasonable doubt? I said, remember that most people don't want to practice that. Reasonable doubt.
Yeah, and you guys, my thing was that he has biases like everybody I know has biases.
Yeah.
And everybody I know has said things. That's why I have trouble too condemning people just for bad speech. I just have, because everybody I know has said stuff. And it's also usually my friends who said the worst shit that are the most offended when other people say stuff. But they damn sure said anti-gay stuff for years and years, okay?
That's right.
All right? As many of our quote-unquote friends and family have done, okay?
Yeah.
So it's all about what you consider acceptable and all of that. But I'm just saying, my thing was that he was sick.
Yeah.
And when I go, he's a sickie, you guys. But the system,
it really is bad. Hey, right there, that's where I made my decision. The decision came where I said,
that's the part where you get angry.
Gun law.
Angry.
I said, oh, neighborhood watch. I'm the rifleman, right? I can go around and go like this. You look suspicious.
You know what? Cool. You know what I am feeling though blessed about is that our particular people, even though all of us of our group, even out of our anger, look where we go though. Look where we go. We're quick to go.
Yeah.
You, me, PMC, Mac, we are quick to go toward forgiveness.
Right. You have to.
You have to, and that's where we all are. We all come together.
Right.
We all feel that. We all feel that, and that there's growth out of these processes, and we've seen it. If you're our age, you've seen it.
Right.
You've seen the world change. The world has changed. At least in my day, you could be openly racist. It was no condemnation of racism.
Right.
Today, you can't do that. You can't be openly sexist. You can't whistle at women. You can. You're going to be looked at as an idiot. I smoked on airplanes. Cigarettes. I'm saying the world has changed. It's getting better. We have to embrace the things that make it better.
Right.
We have to embrace, and the youth, for all their other issues we have with them, they don't have the same degrees of racism. Yeah, of course it's still there, but it's not like what we did and what our parents did. It's not like that. And they even listen to a lot of the same music.
Right.
And you know we didn't do that.
Well, let me say this. If you guys ever want to really try to back up and you want to follow the story, I'm not following it because I'm thinking of the parents and the family. Just follow the media and be careful how the media shapes your thinking by what they present and the conditions of what's going to be judged on when they're nowhere in the court talking to the attorneys from either side. But they can present the information to a certain degree to make you think a certain way.
Right.
And they talked about how the media got it wrong in framing the story that would put Zimmerman in a position where people will have more hate. And I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve it, but they said the media did a great job of molding the Zimmerman, his name, in a way where you would be drawn in.
And to make and see, remember, a lot of people are victim of that because of their own experiences.
Right.
So, rightly so. I mean, rightly... It's not right or wrong. It's what occurs when you've had bad experience. Things like this make it a reminder to you.
Right.
And so there you go. There you go. There you go. And that's what we say. If you didn't have those experiences, no.
Of course.
But then again, that's the way. And the media, so at least at Pack Stereo, with our chat room, I'm proud to say that I think we are the voice of reason. I think we are the voice of reason because we're acknowledging the past wrongs, but we're also saying that we don't want to cling to that, and we're attempting to move forward.
No.
And with forgiveness.
Oh, yeah.
And also, we're trying to step back and look at the big picture, which is to also think about the impact on the other folks around that are still not George Zimmerman.
Right.
Like the effect on his family.
Right.
Does anybody want to feel good that I mean, that's a terrible to go to that level, to start wishing hate and all this. And I'm proud to say that our people, we don't do that. We are basically children of love.
Yeah, no. For the
God bless us.
for the most part, it's one of those things where you go, watch, just remember, there's crime being committed today, and there's still more crime on one's own ethnicity from their own kind, more so than it is
because now let's the part that's so bad is how many black folks say seeing a young brother with a hoodie makes them suspicious. See that kind of stuff. See what I'm saying? These are just factors. Sorry that it's there. But again, like we said, like PMC, we believe that by revisiting this, we're going to move forward. I do believe that. I really do. I believe, and let me just say that my experiences in going through all that I went through, being in the LA's first busing program and all that mess, all those experiences that I went through have convinced me that the world is moving forward.
Well, hey, look,
it's moving forward.
You got examples. Hey, you guys, when you're back in the 50s, do you know if the guy, and it wasn't even a black thing, if young teenagers, whatever their background, wore leather, you know what that means. You know what that means.
Leather coats. It had to go through a thing to become cool to have leather coats.
If you rode a motorcycle, which today
or had a tattoo, Oh, tattoo.
Don't do that. Don't wear that.
Man.
So we do have this thing where we jump to conclusions that clothes make you dangerous, right? Okay.
All right, everybody. Are you